Hi, this video is part of Latin for Beginners, a self-study course which uses a traditional method of classical Latin instruction and emphasizes reading skills. The course is based on a public domain textbook, Latin for Beginners by Benjamin L. Duge. The text may be found at gutenberg.org, and a link is in the video description. There is also an online practice tool, as well as additional resources and materials for the course at selfstudyclassics.com. This video covers Lesson 12 of the text. Videos on Lessons 1 through 11 may be found in the Latin for Beginners YouTube playlist or in the Videos section at selfstudyclassics.com. Lesson 12 continues the introduction to the second declension forms of nouns and adjectives by looking at some special cases, nouns that end in ius and ium. We'll get more familiar with these special cases by working on some translation exercises. Our first exercise is Germani ad praesidia Germana properant. We break it down into phrases and start with the first phrase. Germani. The base word here can be used as a noun or an adjective. In this case, it is a noun. It has the second declension masculine nominative plural form. The base Germanus means a German, so we render the plural as the Germans. Ad praesidia Germana. Ad is the preposition meaning to. Praesidia is a second declension neuter accusative plural. It is the object of ad, which is a preposition that takes the accusative. Germana is an illustration of the adjectival use of the base Germanus. Here it agrees in gender and number with praesidia, so we read it as an attributive adjective. So for the complete phrase, we have to the German garrisons. At the end, we have properant. This is a verb in the plural form. It agrees with the subject Germani. The base means hastens, so we read it as hasten. Thus, for the whole sentence, we have the Germans to the German garrison hasten. Reordering the words for English, we have the Germans hasten to the German garrisons. Our next exercise is muri praesidi finitimi fluvio sunt. We'll start with the phrase muri praesidi. Muri is a noun in the nominative plural form. It is a variation of the base muris, which means wall. Praesidi is the genitive singular form of the second declension neuter noun praesidium, which means garrison. There are two important things to note about this form. First, the irregular accent. Latin accent rules require that the third to last syllable be accented when the second to last is short. The genitive singular of three-syllable words ending in ius is an exception to that rule. This word is pronounced praesidi as opposed to praesidi. Also, the genitive singular and nominative plural forms of second declension nouns are generally identical. Nouns ending in ius are an exception to this rule in that the genitive singular only has one I, while the nominative plural has two. In other words, we know this word is genitive singular and not nominative plural because it is praesidi instead of praesidii. As a genitive, it expresses possession of muri. Putting the words of this phrase together, we get the walls of the garrison. Next we have finitimi fluvio. Finitimi is from the base finitimus, which is another one of those words that can be used as a noun or an adjective. For those interested, the technical term for the use of an adjective as a noun is substantive. This usage, however, is not substantive. As an adjective, finitimus just means near or neighboring. This form is nominative plural. Fluvio is the dative singular of fluvius, which means river. In conjunction with an adjective, the dative is sometimes used, as the text puts it, to denote the object toward which the given quality is directed. This use is rather appropriately termed dative with adjective. Here, that construct is used to indicate the thing to which finitimi expresses nearness. So, for the whole phrase, we get near to the river. Finally, we have sunt. This is the verb to be. in its plural form to agree with the subject muri. It links the subject to the predicate adjective that describes it, finitimi. We translate it simply as are. This gives us the walls of the garrison near to the river are, which we reorder into the walls of the garrison are near to the river. Now let's try this one. Filimale. Filii boni equos finitimorum non necant. First phrase is filimale. Fili is a noun. The base, filius, means son, and the form is another example of how second declension nouns in ius and ium differ from second declension nouns generally. The standard second declension ending for the vocative is the letter E, but here we have the letter I. The vocative form indicates that we are addressing the son with this sentence. Male is an adjective. If we did not know that fili was vocative, the location of this distinctly vocative form immediately after fili would be a good clue. The base word malus means wicked and expresses an attribute of fili. We can translate the whole phrase as, O wicked son. Filii boni is our next phrase. Filii is a noun from the same base as fili, and demonstrates how the nominative plural form of ius nouns, unlike the vocative and genitive singular, is normal. Boni is an adjective that agrees with filii, the noun it immediately follows, so we will read it as attributive. The base bonus means good, so the phrase is good sons. On to equos finitimorum. Equos is the accusative plural form of the base equus, which means horse. Finitimorum is the genitive plural of the base finitimus, which is being used as a noun this time. In its noun or substantive sense, finitimus means neighbor. Here it is possessive with equos, so the phrase becomes the horses of neighbors. And now for non necant. Non is an adverb, which simply means not. Necant is the plural form of the base necat, which means kills. It has the plural form to agree with the subject filii. The direct object, or the thing being killed, is equos. The adverb non modifies this verb. So for the phrase, we have do not kill. And for the whole sentence, we have, O wicked son, good sons, the horses of neighbors do not kill. Putting it in English word order gives us, O wicked son, good sons do not kill the horses of neighbors. Here is our last exercise. Pecunia multa saepe causa proeliorum multorum est. Let's start with pecunia multa. Pecunia is a first declension noun, meaning money. It's in the nominative singular form. Multa is an adjective. In the singular, it means much. English has a different word, much, for expressing a large amount than the word it has for expressing a large number, which is many. In Latin, they are the same word, multus. Much is the singular form, and many is the plural. The position of this adjective suggests that it is attributive. So we have much money for the phrase. Saepe is an adverb. It means often. Here it stands by itself, so the phrase is just often. Now we have causa proeliorum multorum. Causa is a noun, in the nominative singular meaning cause. It is the second nominative we've seen in this sentence, so we should suspect that it is a predicate noun. Proeliorum is a noun in the genitive plural from the base proelium, which means battle. Its relationship with causa is not exactly possessive, but still can be translated with of, so we will simplify things and call it an of relation. The technical term for this kind of relationship, when one noun is suggestive of an action, and the noun in the genitive denotes the object of the action, is objective genitive. But of battles works either way. Moving on, we have multorum, which is one of the plural forms of the base multus, so the meaning is many instead of much. It follows proeliorum and agrees with it in gender and number, so we read it as attributive. So for the phrase, we have the cause of many battles. And finally, we have est. It is a singular form of the verb to be, and is acting as a copula here. It agrees with the subject pecunia, and is modified by the adverb saipe. It links the subject with the predicate noun causa. We translate it with is. So for the entire sentence, we come to much money often the cause of many battles is. Making that a little less awkward in English gives us much money is often the cause of many battles. That's all we have for lesson 12. Keep up the practice. In a couple of lessons, things are going to start getting a lot more interesting. Head to the practice section of selfstudyclassics.com and choose lesson 12. And keep an eye out for the video on lesson 13 of Latin for Beginners. Thanks for watching.